What is good, NIO family? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one, I'm going to be talking about the one and only NIO stock, what you should be looking out for the future. I'm also going to break down NIO's deliveries that just came out, as NIO has done very, very well, and they absolutely crushed it. So I'm going to talk about how this may affect the share price for the future, for the near-term future, and also talk about some very important things we should know about the markets that are very important for NIO stock. Now, before I break anything down about NIO, though, before I go over all of these numbers, talk about how NIO actually did for the month of July, not August. I do have to mention a couple of things before starting. Firstly, I'm not a financial planner, so don't take any of this as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire NIO community as a whole. And the last things, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull, the link down below, and deposit any amount of money into the account, you're guaranteed up to 12 free stocks, each worth up to $3,500. And you could always sell these 12 free stocks for cash and use that cash to buy some NIO shares for free. This is a limited time offer. It ends in just 2 weeks, so please check it out before they run out. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. So looking at NIO, this thing ended up going almost exactly where I predicted it would end up going. I talked about this key range right over here, which is between that 20.8 and 20.1. I think it's around that 20.18 level. And what happened was I predicted that NIO would get a nice push into open and get a rejection of 20.8. We ended up getting rejected off 20.76, so I was off by about like 4 cents. And after that, we ended up kind of trading sideways from there. We did end up closing above 20, like I told you guys I had predicted. Now, we do have a gap that kind of formed like at the very bottom right here. That doesn't mean we have to just start tumbling down from here. We are starting to respect a bit of an uptrend, and the market does look like it has a little bit more room to continue with the upside. So the SPY was red. I think the NASDAQ was also in the red as well. I could be wrong about that. Let me double check. Yeah, the NASDAQ was also red. So was SPY. And yet NIO managed to close green. And I mentioned why I did see a divergence forming and why NIO is actually showing some temporary improvement based off what we're seeing. So if we look at SPY, check this out right here. Let me show you the SPY. The SPY is starting to push up. It's looking pretty strong, but we did end up kind of dropping as the day went on, closing a little bit in the red. We did get some nice candles today, so the SPY is still showing some nice strength. And the key level I was talking about for all NIO investors to remember is when you look at the daily candles, look at where that 200 EMA is. We're very close to that 200 EMA, around that 415 level, and it happens to be very close to this key zone right here. So in my personal opinion, 415 to 417 is a very key zone for NIO. If NIO breaks, I'm sorry, not NIO, the SPY, excuse me. If the SPY manages to break past 415, that would be a very, very bullish sign for me, in my opinion. And I would like to see the SPY do that. As of right now, we don't have confirmation, but I do believe the SPY is going to test 415 in the near term future. As a result, because the SPY has a little bit more room to run, in my opinion, this could be good for NIO and the overall market because NIO will have that extra boost to push it up. So looking at NIO, we did form this kind of like falling wedge like formation, and we should see a slight breakout, maybe a not like super massive breakout to all-time highs or anything like that. But I do see the gap up in that 22 level to get filled quite quickly too. So I am a little bit more bullish than bearish. Got a really nice candle that formed today. Let me actually hide my drawings just to make this look a little bit better. And with that said, I think we have a doji that formed right here, which is a good sign. That's often a trigger for a bit of a reversal that's supposed to start relatively soon. But we also have, let me actually zoom in just to show you where this is. We have a gap right here around the 22.5 level, somewhere around there, right? I do see NIO coming up to this level in the near term, maybe within the next couple of days, because NIO did have a very good deliveries report, and some investors are kind of getting excited, and the market is still holding up pretty well compared to before. We even saw Tesla actually hit the 930 level temporarily before getting a rejection, but it still ended up closing green. So the market's actually still doing quite well. I still think NIO has some room to push up before we get a bit of a rejection, but overall, it's still looking good for the short term, right? So one of the main reasons as to why NIO did do pretty well today is because we actually had deliveries come out, and this was actually very good for NIO. NIO, Li Auto, and a bunch of other automakers actually announced their deliveries deliveries for the month of July, and they tended to do very, very well. Li Auto, for example, said it delivered like 10,400. Other companies did pretty well, but NIO showed very good improvement year over year. It was higher than some of its competitors, and they delivered over 10,052 vehicles. And it's a little bit lower than what they did from June, but overall still a very big improvement. And I do think that we're going to see continued improvements going forward. So just to actually sum up the data, I actually have this from their official news release. They did very, very well. They did over 60,000 deliveries year to date. And if we actually look at the charts, which were shown on their Twitter page, they delivered 10,052 vehicles in July 2022, a 26.7% year over year increase, which is very good in my opinion. They are still kind of like recovering from big changes from over there and also supply chain issues, but they're doing very well, and I see their numbers getting better and better. In the first 7 months of 2022, they delivered 60,879 vehicles. That's an increase of 22% year over year. And in total, they have 227,949 deliveries. Let's go. That's very, very good as of July 31st, 2022. So NIO did very, very well. I could actually pull up the charts right here just to make this very clear. You could see over 10,000 deliveries in July as well, 26.7% up year over year. And if I could zoom into this, we can see that the dark blue, not blue, the dark green lines that you're seeing, these basically represent 2022. The light ones represent 2021. Now, going down, you could see these improvements in their numbers. We can actually see that this time last year, NIO delivered about 7,900. Now they're doing over 10,000 during the same time frame. So very good improvement in deliveries year over year. And also, this is the second highest month NIO has had in its history as of right now. So very, very good job from NIO. The highest they actually had was in, I believe, June 2022. But besides that, they did very well again. So I'm very happy they're showing lots of improvement for, comparing them to the last year. And I think that their deliveries are going to continue to improve as years go on. Every single month, we're going to get better updates going forward, as long as we don't have more of those lockdowns and so on and so forth in China. But besides that, this is very good for many shareholders because the numbers are going to get better. When the numbers get better, the deliveries go up, the revenue goes up. As revenue improves, as NIO improves their business model, they have the potential to increase their earnings per share, become extremely profitable, make lots of money, and this will be very good for investors. And they're going to get more investments thanks to this. Their ventures into other countries is also massive, so I'm very, very bullish for that as well. So with that said, what do I think NIO is going to do for tomorrow? Well, I think that now that we had a nice deliveries report, historically they come out at the very beginning of each month. And if I bring up the daily charts, you guys could actually see how NIO has kind of reacted. I think these lines represent like earnings and stuff. So actually, let's not worry about these for now. Let me actually close these out. But I want to talk about how does NIO respond during the very beginning of each month. And you could see NIO has a tendency of actually making some pretty decent moves. If I go back to like right here, when we started February, all right, NIO pushed from being at 23 all the way up to about 26 a share. Then we ended up dumping. If we go to the very beginning of March, this is when we did see some issues arising. NIO did drop as the month started, but then we got a nice push up with the overall market. And then as the month started in April, NIO went from $20 a share all the way up to 23 a share. So over 11% move for its share price. And if we go down right here to May, when we started May, right here, NIO went from, what is this? This was a close right here at like 16 bucks a share, from 16 all the way up to about a little over 18. So pretty decent move, not the best, but still a bit of an improvement after deliveries came out. And then we had the lockdowns, so they obviously did see lots of things that affected them. We got this big dump later on. Then if you look at June, when NIO had that really good deliveries report, check this out. NIO went from near the end of May, NIO was at $14 a share. It rallied all the way up with the market as well to about 24 bucks a share. So it did make a very nice move. And in the very beginning of June, you can see this big rally it had going from 17 a share all the way up to about 20. So it did make some nice moves. And if we look at what NIO is doing right now, NIO has been respecting a downtrend. There's a falling wedge right here. And on top of that, we actually found our bottom around 18.59, at least as of right now, it looks like that. We got a nice green candle for that daily chart, and the deliveries just came out. So NIO is starting off around like 19 bucks a share. I wouldn't be surprised if it rallies all the way up to 22 plus over the next couple of trading days. And I really think that is what's going to happen to NIO. It may take a week as well, but once it gets up there, I don't necessarily think I can guarantee this will last forever. NIO might start to come down a little later, but until then, I do see some bullish price action for it for the short term. How may this affect NIO on a daily basis? Well, if this thing pushes up, we're going to see lots of action in this 20.2 to 20.8 channel. I do think NIO is going to trade sideways from here for now. And once we break out of it, the key zone I'm looking for is 21 resistance and 21.5. I forgot to actually draw out the line here. 21.5 is another very key zone. So for tomorrow, I wouldn't be surprised if NIO, and let me actually fix my chart for 1 second. Give me 1 second. If we look at what NIO could end up doing, I do expect a nice open again. Very nice open. I think NIO is going to push up that 20.8 level. There's going to be some resistance right there, so it's going to struggle a bit to break that. But if we break it, we could actually go to the low 21s tomorrow. And I wouldn't be surprised if NIO actually starts to trade in this range right here. It could come down in the middle of the day all the way down to like 20.2. It might get a nice bounce off that, trade kind of sideways and start to push up as the day goes on. And I wouldn't be surprised if we actually break past 20.8 and actually start to approach the low $21 range for tomorrow. Now, if we do manage to break 20.8, the very key resistance level is going to be around 21.5. And I wouldn't be surprised if NIO actually touches that near the end of the day and closes around the low $21 level. So this is essentially what I'm predicting. I'm more bullish than bearish. And as for SPY, I do think it should actually help NIO at least somewhat, because the SPY should continue to push up a little more and actually enter that key resistance level at 415. I hope to see that. But if we don't get that from SPY, that's totally okay. NIO could actually still rally a bit, but it will make it harder for NIO if the whole market is not moving the way we want it to. So be very cautious when it comes to these moves. I am still more bullish than bearish after these deliveries that came out, and also because NIO has that gap up there. So hopefully things go as planned. I really wish the best for NIO. And with that said and done, I gave you guys my predictions, so be ready for tomorrow. Once again, key resistance levels are going to be 20.8, 21.5, and finally up until the 22 level if we do go that high, which I don't think we're going to go that high just for tomorrow. If NIO does drop, we have some support at 20. It's not very strong. If we drop lower than that, then around that 19.5 range, that's another key support zone, then 19 flat, then 18.75 and 18.5. Once again, I don't see it going that low. I just wanted to highlight these for you guys just so that you guys are prepared for anything. But overall, this is essentially what I am predicting. Now that you know the support and resistance levels, get ready for tomorrow. Remain calm, cool, and collected. And I will see you guys in the next one. NIO to the moon, because the long-term future is bright. And peace out.